Today we are going to be featuring a 2019 Toyota 4Runner Nightshade Edition. They're special, they're unique, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to say a special thanks to Gary for lending us his beautiful 4Runner today. So today there's a massive ocean of vehicles, from sport utilities to crossovers, four-wheel drive vehicles of all sorts, whether you're picking up the kids from school or whether you like to have sure-footed driving for winter conditions, or possibly you do want to take your vehicle off-road. Lots of different vehicles for lots of different functions and people. So a lot of those different vehicles are not much more than a minivan or a car that are jacked up with four-wheel drive and gives you some extra capabilities with the hatchback. And they'll call it a crossover or an SUV. A lot of them are unibody to improve fuel economy, make them rigid, make them very nice and versatile and comfortable to drive. But with all of that said, there's still a small pocket of vehicles, such as the 4Runner that we have here, really more intended to get back to the roots. Its versatility, its functionality, its ruggedness. That's where the 4Runner comes in. Let's also not forget, because it is a Toyota, it also has higher than average predicted reliability associated with it. So specifically to the Nightshade Edition, we have some great new touches. New for this model, we have a lot of black chrome accents, as you see here on the bumper and into the grille. You also have a lot more black accents throughout, and we'll get to that. And the black theme moves along to the side of the vehicle as well. Check out the mirrors. How about the black handles? Here's another little special touch you're going to like. Open the door, and then you have the special step boards here. The Nightshade Edition also comes with these very high gloss, blacked out 20-inch rims. What a beautiful touch here as well. Another touch is the blacked out Limited on the side, as well as the 4Runner right here. And so under the hood is where all the magic happens. With any car, of course. With the Toyota 4Runner here, for example, that features a 4-liter V6 engine that produces about 270 horsepower and about 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, while it's not a race engine, it does have enough motivation to move the SUV along just fine. So let's slide on in here. The first thing you can appreciate with the high sills, everything feels very beefy. Now, it is a departure from a lot of the SUVs or the smaller mid-size crossovers that you see on the market today. The interior makes this vehicle feel very much like a truck. Everything is very sturdy. So as we pan around the cabin here, it's a very simplistic approach to controls, which makes it beefy and not finicky. As you'd find in a lot of finicky high-end Italian or German cars, this doesn't have the finicky feel. All the controls are very sturdy. These buttons are very solid, with a very nice sturdy feel to them that doesn't suggest they're going to break down. So you've got your shifter control here with the nice gloss black accent to it. You have your four-wheel drive control here. You've got 4 low, 4 high here. You've got options here for switching that and locking it into place as well. You've got the heated seat controls here, one for the passenger and one for the driver. Regulates because of the ventilated perforated seats that you have here. As you can see, all your controls, AC, everything's here nicely laid out. Very simplistic, easy to, you don't have to go deep into a menu to operate a heater control like often you do in a BMW. Heating controls, again, very sturdy. They have a nice knurled feel to them. Everything is well made. Now we can turn on the ignition. And then we have over here a conventional gauge cluster. You can be assured that with all the digital dashes today's day and age, that Toyota does without it in here, and these will definitely last the life of the vehicle. Here we have further controls for hands-free, and we have other controls for your menus, all kinds of stereo controls for volume. We have your cruise controls back here, and then you move over here, you have mirrors, your park assist, rear wipers, and actually over here you have your inverter controls, 400 watt, 100 watt at 120 volts. Gives you the capability to run any number of household type objects. And then up here we have some other controls. You can disable your traction control. You have auto track, which essentially puts torque to the wheels that are not spinning and removes it from those that are spinning. And we have hill descent option, which allows you to control your descent down a steep grade. So also some great features for a 4x4. Then we look over here, you'll notice more of that theme with the blacked out look here on the handles. You have accent stitching here everywhere along the handles. And you'll notice you've got perforated seats for heating, cooling, and accent stitching throughout. Nice leather finish here as well. And so we get in the back seats. Now the seats are very firm, kind of flat, but they do support well, and there's still a lot of room in here. Adequate headroom because of the indentation here. It does support for taller passengers. You've got space here for a little bit of storage. You've got your 12-volt outlets. You've got 2 of them, and heater vents, which support a little bit of heat to the back passengers here. Very comfortable place to be. There's lots of room. As you can see, lots of knee room here. So this supports a taller passenger as well. So easy to control, is well made. Pull this up and your seat slides forward for the extra seats at the back because this is a 7-seater. Okay, so that's the inside. Now let's take this rig for a drive and tell you some of my driving impressions about this vehicle. So far, I like what I see. It feels very sturdy. Every time the door closes, it feels stout. But we'll see what it's like on the open road. Let's go for a drive. So setting off, we're going to drive the 4Runner today in a fashion that likely 90% of the population is going to use it, and that's on the street, because that's really what matters. Now driving along, I can honestly tell you it feels like a truck, and that's refreshing. In the world of jet fighter SUVs that do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds and corner like they're on rails, this vehicle isn't trying to be like that. It's not pretentious. It drives like a truck. And from where I'm sitting, I find this really refreshing. As a matter of fact, it doesn't turn quite on a dime. The steering's a little vague. As you turn it from side to side, there's certainly amount of play there before you actually get an actual roll or a movement, lateral movement in the steering. But that's okay, it does drive like a truck. And when it comes time to hammering those off-roads, rest assured that it's the articulation in the suspension and the suspension setup in general that is going to lead well to keep this thing going and keep you above wet ground. Not only that, it feels very sturdy. So driving along, you can hear the engine chugging along at low RPM. But honestly, it's a very comfortable ride. And there's really no noise to speak of. You hit some rough bumps and tar patches in the road, and you really don't feel it. I mean, it does feel like a truck, as I said, but it does do a lot better job of eating up noises. There's no shakes and rattles in the vehicle. And then we get onto the throttle a little bit, and it definitely has enough juice to move it along nicely. This thing is an absolute pleasure and a joy, and the simple fact that there aren't many vehicles like this around today. And today's day and age, there really aren't many vehicles that bring this feel back. Everything's made for efficiency and performance and 0 to 60 times. It's all bragging rights. It's all about the quickest car, the car with the best fuel economy, has the most features and elements and concepts. Does it have digital dash display and the latest technology and safety and warning assist, pedestrian warning, and all these different features are great. We're moving forward in technology, but in some ways we're moving backwards, because this takes you back to a time. Yes, way back 1989 was the first 4Runner that I ever drove. Was a rough, ragged, tough, durable little SUV that did everything you asked of it and more. It's simple, it's basic, but it does everything without complaint. And honestly, a vehicle like this is just truly a breath of fresh air. Do I like this vehicle? In summary, yes, 110%. The vehicle feels like a truck, and it's sturdy, and it's dependable. And when you buy one of these things, you have to expect that you're going to save a pile of money in the long run, because it won't kill you on maintenance costs. Resale, if you do ever decide to sell it, these SUVs hold their value like nobody's business. And again, as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video review today. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button over here, and the notification bell will let you know when the next great video is. And if you're curious, how about hitting this link over here for this great review, another super car that you may want to follow along with. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Catch you real soon. Bye-bye.